So these legs are going to require me to laminate up 3 pieces of wood. I need to run them through my planer so they'll glue up nice and tight. It honestly is not important for me to joint these boards, but it'll just make it easier to get a nice accurate cut on the table saw to get 3 even pieces. Here I'm gluing up my legs. I got all 4 of them glued up in one shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make all 4 legs round to the same rough dimension, and then I'm going to take them over to my drill press and drill in now, before they're tapered, the holes that I'll need to screw into the top, into that middle shelf. So let me get the other 3 turned to this dimension. When turning a single diameter rod, it's important to check your diameter frequently. Here I'm knocking out the other 3 legs. Okay, so I have to drill in for where I'm going to have the shelves, and I did that. I got my legs set to the same diameter right now, straight across. I haven't tapered them yet. It's easier for me to drill them now before I taper them. So right now I'm trying to find my center spot on the areas where I'm on the legs, individual legs, and I'm doing a Forstner bit, and I'm drilling for where the screw will go in. Then I'll then I'll drill a hole all the way through with a 1/4 inch bit. And I'll make a plug that'll go in there, and I'll finish that off. So I made this jig to hold the legs steady while I drill them out. Alright, the legs are now ready for tapering. Alright, so I tapered it. I made the diameter that I want at the bottom of the taper. And that diameter is 1 3/4. And the biggest diameter is 2 3/4. So that's a difference of 1 inch. So I'm going to drop this to 2 1/4 here. So let me get another caliper for that. So this is the midpoint. So I want to make that 2 1/4, which that is already set for. Wow, how about that? All right, so I'm going to use my parting tool in here in the middle, and I'm going to take that to 2 1/4. Right there. All right, so now I'm going to work on tapering the bottom half, and then I'll work on tapering the top from there to here. So make it now a nice smooth transition.
In retrospect, I probably should have divided this into quarters. Having done that, I could have turned each quadrant in the length of my tool rest. When I start tapering, I take small cuts from the bottom, working towards the larger dimension, and gradually increase the length of the cut until I have done that and established my taper, and then I can do full length sweeps with the gouge. Again, having to move the tool rest made that a challenge. Again, that's why I should have divided into quadrants. Here I'm working on my transition part from the lower half to the upper half. After I completed each section, I'd go back and hit anything that looked like it was a high spot and try to get it into a nice, even, flowing taper. Now to knock out the top half. Again, going to hit those high spots.
Sand it.
As you can see, these legs were not done with a duplicator. If you stare at them long enough, you can definitely see there's slight variations. But that's what happens when you have handmade furniture. If I wanted them to be exactly the same, I'd had a duplicator or have them done with a CNC. Again, handmade furniture, you get those handmade aspects.